allow me to give some different issues of this international conference. Yeah, as this is an international conference, we are talking about globalization, of course. But besides other so-called positive aspect of globalization, there are also one aspect of globalization that we have to take care of. That is what the world are at risk of pandemic that could kill millions. As you know, pandemic is an outbreak, but happens in many countries of the world. So this we have already pandemic before, and we are now not looking forward, but there is a risk of pandemic that could happen in the future. So what? If there is a pandemic, then the next slide will show to you the risk of pandemic is growing and the world is not ready. So actually, most countries of the world are not ready if pandemic is really occurred in the coming years. So I just give you some idea what's happening in the previous years. This is the disease of SARS, if you might remember. SARS is a severe acute respiratory virus. It was the disease began on 2003, but in the slide you can see so many countries affected by the disease, by the outbreak. So this is one type of pandemic at that time. And what interesting about this pandemic began with only one man. There's one man, the Dr. A, the one with the name A there, is a doctor coming from China, going to Hong Kong, and he stayed in that hotel, the Hotel Metropolitan in Hong Kong. Then that particular one man only infected so many people in that particular hotel. Those people in that hotel then going back to their home country. So you can see going back to Canada, going back to Ireland, going back to USA, and they bring the disease to their own country. So began by one man only. Oh, sorry. Okay, we go back. You know, couple doing like that. So disease is not only affect disease, sick patient, but also affect that one, and also affect economy. You see that stage trade, nobody sitting there. Okay, this is for daily life. But if it is like this, it's not only daily life. It will affect the country. It will affect the city. So here, during the pandemic of SARS, Singapore become very much damaged. They have to close the school. They have to close almost, the city become very scary at that time. So that is one example. The other example is this one. This is still happening. That SARS is already finished. This is still happening. Middle East Respiratory Syndrome. You know, we have quite a number of people from India, from Indonesia going for Hajj and going for Umrah, and Saudi Arabia and those areas, they have so-called this disease, Middle East Respiratory Syndrome. Now, it began with Arab countries, now already 27 countries, and number of cases already 248. Luckily, it's not spreading bigger, but it's already 27 countries. So these are some signs and symptoms of MERS. I will not go into detail of this one. So again, it's not only so many countries, but countries like Bangkok also affected by MERS, Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, even South Korea. In South Korea, it began only one case coming to Seoul and spreading into the whole, not the whole, most part of the Seoul, people are scary at that time. But luckily they can localize, so the disease is not spreading, even though this one is still happening. So wedding party in Seoul at that time is like this. It's very sad. Not only disease, also this is maybe the only wedding party with face mask in the world. This is another one, avian influenza, also called bird flu. Also began in Southeast Asia, dispersed by migratory bird and go to all over the world like this. Because the one who's spreading this avian influenza is not only human, but the bird itself. The bird flying from China, going to Europe, maybe Aligarh, the bird is tired and going down here and spreading to other birds. Yes. So begin from China and then spreading all over the world. So during that time, there was a high summit in Bangkok. Several president, prime minister will come and that city, including US president, that time during the bird flu. So bird flu again affect political issue, not only disease, not only physicians and nurses, etc. And even in Delhi, the zoo is closed because the bird, in the Delhi zoo was affected. Okay, again, this pandemic is not only impact disease or death, but also impact social daily life of all of us. This is another one, Zika virus. If you might remember, this is just happening a few months ago. You can see from one part of the world, they go to other part of the world, just like that. This just happened a few months ago here in India, Nipah virus. This was began in Malaysia. Nipah is the name of tree in Malaysia basically. Now moved to India and moved to Bangladesh. And several people died here in Kerala a few months ago. This is another one, polio. If you follow the issue of polio, polio is only 3 countries in the world, but several countries now find a new vaccine-derived polio. The last one was Philippines, Manila. So now, if you want to go to Philippines for whatever reason, you have to get polio vaccination to prevent you from getting polio. And also some part of Indonesia, in Papua. Okay, so in a nutshell, why it happens now? Because so many people travel by air. I was in Bali yesterday morning. So yesterday evening, I landed in Indira Gandhi International Airport. Now I'm here. So you can see how people move from time to time, and so many diseases, as you see down, is spreading from one country to the other. Sorry, this is the slide that I made for presentation in Indonesia. So by those kind of air travel, people can get breakfast in Bali, and then lunch in Tokyo, and dinner in New York. This can happen now. But not only the delicious breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but they may also bring this kind of disease from all over the world. Okay? So now I come. So what can we do? What can we do of this situation? Sorry, I show you some, because Professor, I was informed there's about 60 Indonesian students study here. So thank you very much for taking care of my student here. So these are some pictures of capital of Indonesia. Just want to show you this is number of international flights coming from all over the world to Jakarta. It's about 4,000 flights per month, about 80,000 passengers per month, and even international crew. So they come to Delhi, to Indonesia, to whatever part of the world. They will bring goods. They might bring disease as well. And also sea. That's why WHO then made this kind of system, what we call by international health regulation. Try to prevent, protect, and respond to the international spread of disease. So this is what we have to do, because international spread of disease cannot be avoided. It has to be there anyway. So that's why WHO making this international health regulation to prevent international spread of disease by 3 things. Number 1, doing prevention. Number 2, detection. And number 3, response. And this is the responsibility of all of us, not only health people, not only doctors, not only nurses, but everybody can do prevention, everybody can do detection. Response might be health community, but prevention and detection is all of us. So these are what prevention is all about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I go just one by one. Number 1 is about legislation, policy. Sorry, this is Indonesian photo again on the right up. That is legislation. Indonesia just have the legislation of quarantine. That's quarantine. And the one below is biosafety and biosecurity. I know there are a lot of lab here in the university, and I believe biosafety and biosecurity has been taken care very carefully here for preventing other issues and immunization. There is another issue of antimicrobial resistance because people do not take medication antibiotic properly. So antimicrobial resistance is now happening, and you can just see. I think I have something for India somewhere here. One child dies every 9 minutes in India because of infection due to due to bacteria that cannot be treated by any antibiotic any longer. So one child every 9 minutes. That is India. We can see other part of the world the same issue. And this is also how food is safe. So the slogan is the one below, from farm to plate. So every activities from farming, collecting, cooking, going, serving, and eating, it has to be prevention in all part of the section to be able to prevent at the end of the day pandemic to happen. Now we are talking about detection. Laboratory, of course, we already discussed. The one below is surveillance activity and response. In a pandemic, sometimes issue is not only health, as I mentioned, but how to handle media. I do not know, Professor, whether you have a faculty here who are taking care of this kind of thing, public communication, because this is as important as treating patient. Sometimes this is more important than treating patient, how to take care of media. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about zoonosis. Zoonosis is very important because zoonosis is the disease from animal who goes into human. Why this is important? Because 60% of disease in human is coming from animal basically. And why now it become more and more happening? Because now human and animal become so close, as you can see from this picture. See, if like this, so it's so close. If you do not believe that human and animal is so close, you can see the other slide. This one is even closer between animal and human. See? Okay. But anyway, so this is just want to show that disease can go from animal to human. And the other part is country, I believe India, Indonesia already have some kind of emergency operation center, not emergency for treating patient, but to know the whole country. What happened in Kerala, what happened in Kashmir, what happened in Goa. So if this is coming, then people will know. In WHO, we cover the whole world, what happened in the world. So as a conclusion, disease could be infectious, could be zoonotic, could be food safety, could be chemical, and globalization is there anyway. But it goes inter-country mobility, but we have to remember that this is, if we go to country, we have to show passport, they will check our passport, but disease is borderless. Bacteria can go, no passport, no visa, no nothing. Okay, so if that happens, then pandemic could occur. What we should do is doing preparedness, detection, and response. And because disease is not only human, we have to make this kind of thing. The One Health. So, healthy people, the blue one, but also healthy animals, and also healthy environment. That is just in a nutshell what I will share to you about the global health security. So this is Taj Mahal, the one above is Borobudur in Indonesia, and the one below is beautiful beach on the Bali Island. So thank you very much.